Did you know that something sitting quietly in your fridge right now, something you might eat every single day, could silently raise your risk of stroke overnight? It might seem harmless, even comforting. But the truth is, for those of us over 60, every small food choice we make can either protect or damage our hearts and brains without us even realizing it. Here's the kicker. It's not about giving up your favorite foods entirely. It's about making one smart switch, one mindful decision. And today, we're talking about cheese. Yes, cheese. That creamy, melty, delicious addition to our meals could be quietly hurting our blood vessels. But don't worry, there's good news too. Some cheeses, the right ones, can actually do the opposite. They can support healthy circulation, lower stroke risk, and keep your brain sharp and strong as you age. Now, let me ask you something. What cheese do you reach for the most? Is it cheddar? Cream cheese? Maybe a slice of American cheese on your salad? Morning eggs? Whatever it is, take a moment, because this might be one of the most important food decisions you make this year, especially if you're over 60. Let's start with one of the biggest culprits, the bright yellow slices that have been a lunchbox staple for generations. American cheese. It melts like a dream and tastes like comfort. But here's the truth. American cheese isn't real cheese. It's a processed product made with milk, whey, salt, emulsifiers, preservatives, and artificial coloring. One slice can pack nearly 400 milligrams of sodium and 5 grams of saturated fat. That may not sound like much, but over time, especially if you eat it daily, it adds up in dangerous ways. Why does this matter? Because as we age, our arteries naturally become stiffer and more fragile. When we load up on salty, fatty, processed foods like American cheese, our blood pressure goes up, and that puts extra strain on already aging blood vessels. The result? A much higher risk of stroke, often when we least expect it, even while we sleep. But it's not just the salt and fat. American cheese contains synthetic additives that may trigger inflammation in the body, especially in your arteries. Over time, that inflammation wears down the protective lining of your blood vessels, making them weaker, narrower, and more prone to clots. And when blood flow is interrupted to the brain, even for a moment, that's all it takes for a stroke to occur. Now, let's talk about another favorite, cream cheese. It's smooth, rich, and for many of us, it's part of a daily routine. A smear on a bagel in the morning, maybe a dollop on crackers in the evening. But cream cheese is mostly saturated fat and very little else. Just 2 tablespoons can give you over 9 grams of fat, most of it the artery-clogging kind. And unlike other dairy products, it has very little calcium or protein, so you're not getting the benefits, just the burden. And here's what many don't realize. Saturated fats increase your LDL cholesterol, the bad kind that leads to plaque buildup in the arteries. When that happens in the brain, it increases the risk of both strokes and mini-strokes, also known as silent strokes, which many people don't even realize are happening until the damage is done. Even worse, cream cheese is usually eaten with refined carbs like white bread or bagels. That combo can spike your blood sugar, then drop it suddenly. That crash leaves you feeling tired, foggy, and sometimes even dizzy. If you've ever felt a little off after breakfast, it might not just be a bad night's sleep. It could be a warning sign from your body. But it doesn't stop there. Another cheese that's surprisingly risky, blue cheese. Its bold flavor and fancy reputation make it a favorite on salads, cheese boards, and gourmet dishes. But it contains something called tyramine, a naturally occurring compound found in aged foods. Tyramine has been shown to trigger dangerous spikes in blood pressure, especially in people taking certain medications or those with sensitive blood vessels. For someone over 60, that's a real concern. A sudden rise in blood pressure, especially overnight, is one of the leading causes of stroke. Combine tyramine with high levels of saturated fat and sodium, and blue cheese becomes more of a risk than a reward. While a little might be okay occasionally, eating it regularly can increase your chances of vascular problems, especially if your arteries are already stressed. And let's not forget one of the most popular cheeses in households. Across the country, processed cheese slices. They're easy, they're everywhere, but they're not real food. In fact, they're closer to being a science experiment than a natural dairy product. Just one slice can hold over 300 milligrams of sodium, plus saturated fats and chemical emulsifiers. 2 slices on a sandwich, and you've blown through a third of your daily sodium limit without even realizing it. Why does this matter so much? Because at night, our bodies go into repair mode. Our blood pressure drops naturally. But if our arteries are stiff from too much salt or fat, they don't respond well. And that's when nighttime strokes happen silently, suddenly, without warning. Now that we've talked about the dangers, here's the good part. You don't have to give up cheese. In fact, there are 4 kinds of cheese that can actually protect your heart and brain, especially as you age. Let's talk about them now. First up, ricotta. This soft, creamy cheese isn't just delicious. It's packed with high-quality protein and calcium. Made from whey, the leftover liquid during cheese production, ricotta is light, easy to digest, and loaded with amino acids that support muscle strength and repair. And that's not just good for movement. It helps your entire cardiovascular system. Stronger muscles help with balance and prevent falls, which are a major risk for older adults. But even more importantly, the protein in ricotta helps regulate blood pressure, and its low sodium content means you're not stressing your arteries with every bite. Add a spoonful to whole grain toast, stir it into scrambled eggs, or mix it with fresh herbs for a creamy, healthy spread. Next, cottage cheese. It might not be glamorous, but it's one of the most nutrient-packed dairy options out there. Just 1 cup can deliver 28 grams of protein and powerful nutrients, like vitamin B12 and selenium, both critical for brain health and blood flow. And unlike processed cheeses, it's low in fat and salt if you choose the right version. Even better, the protein in cottage cheese digests slowly, helping you stay full longer and keeping blood sugar steady. That reduces stress on your blood vessels, and over time, it lowers inflammation throughout the body. Add it to your breakfast with fresh berries and flaxseed, or enjoy it with cucumbers and olive oil for a savory snack. Now, here's one you might not expect: goat cheese. This tangy, creamy cheese has some surprising benefits, especially for digestion and brain function. It contains less lactose than cow's milk cheese, which makes it easier to digest, and that helps reduce bloating and gut pressure to things that directly affect vascular health. Goat cheese is also high in medium-chain triglycerides, MCTs, a type of fat that your body converts quickly into energy, especially brain energy. Studies have shown that MCTs can help improve memory and cognitive clarity in older adults. Plus, goat cheese contains prebiotics that support gut health and reduce inflammation, a silent but serious contributor to stroke and vascular disease. Add a crumble of goat cheese to your salad, spread it on crackers, or mix it into roasted veggies. Your brain and your blood vessels will thank you. And finally, fresh mozzarella. Not the shredded kind in a bag, but the soft, water-packed rounds. This cheese is naturally low in sodium and rich in probiotics. That's right, probiotics. The friendly bacteria that help support your gut and reduce inflammation throughout your body. Why does gut health matter for stroke risk? Because more and more research is showing a powerful link between gut bacteria and blood vessel health. A diverse, balanced gut microbiome keeps inflammation in check, which helps your arteries stay flexible and responsive, reducing the chance of clots and high blood pressure spikes. Mozzarella also contains calcium and protein, 2 key nutrients for keeping bones strong and muscles active, which again ties back to stroke prevention. One easy way to enjoy it. Slice it with fresh tomatoes, add a drizzle of olive oil and a sprinkle of basil. It's light, heart-healthy, and bursting with flavor. So what's the big takeaway here? You don't have to give up cheese. You just have to make the right choices. Swap out that processed, salty, artery-clogging slice for something that nourishes you. Ricotta, cottage cheese, goat cheese, fresh mozzarella. These aren't just better tasting, they're better for your blood pressure, your circulation, your energy, and your brain. After 60, every food choice you make has more impact. But that's the good news too. You're in control. A small change can make a big difference. One mindful choice at a time. So, I want to hear from you. Which cheese do you think you'll try this week? Or is there one you're thinking twice about now? Drop a comment below and let us know.